Hey all, my name is Veladam01 and welcome back to City Skylines East of the Curtain, my former Eastern Bloc inspired city building series. In today's video I'm going to build a bypass highway around the city to give the main entrance road a little bit stress relief, because you could remember that it was all clogged up because it was just literally the only one road leading into the city. We will still have only one outside connection for cars after the construction, but vehicles will be able to go around the city as they are not forced to take the already overcrowded roads through the downtown. They will be able to just easily bypass the busy places on the highway at the outskirts. But to be honest, since I have built the passenger trains, there are visibly less cars arriving to the city, so this highway might be kinda built for the trucks only to be better distributed when hauling cargo around until I build the cargo rail infrastructure. By the way, I also had to switch my recording program because the Gamecaster that I started using since I reinstalled my computer would be closing down in March and it would not work after it. So I installed OBS, but my settings are still not set up perfectly and the video might be a little bit blurry or laggy or any other miscellaneous problems. If you encounter these while watching the video, please just notify me in the comments. Anyway, you can see that I choose 3 major roads that led to the city where the highway exits will be, because then I can see where the highway itself will be going. I actually used vanilla highways instead of these workshop highways over concrete walls made by Simoji, or I don't know how to pronounce the name of the creator. Because in the future I might also make trolleybuses on the highway, and the highways that support trolleybuses and come with trolleybus wires only come in a vanilla style, and I wanted to keep or have an unified highway style, so I just decided to stick with the vanilla highways, and I just used some node controller and intersection mapping tool magic to make them more realistic. You can see that I only built or created the half of the intersections because the two sides are just basically 100% the same, and I just followed the dry principles from software technology, which means don't repeat yourself, and I just built only the half of the junction, then used move it and the snapping function to copy and paste the built roads, because copying the nodes actually copies everything that has been made by node controller or IMS. So I don't have to set up again hand by hand separately, and it just saves a lot of time for me. And to create the other highway off-ramps, I just selected them again, but this time I selected the whole intersection and I just copied and pasted and did the same again. And now I am connecting up these highway exits to each other. This here that you see on the screen right now was kind of the most difficult part of the video to make, as you can notice that in this area I literally had everything that can obstruct the project. For example, there was an active railway track underneath the highway that needed to be relocated and rerouted, which I cut from the video because I didn't want you to see the edge of the city that is kinda a technical area and an asset storage where I copy and paste my assets from, or place some services that requires their own episodes. like power and water plant, and yes, it is a mess, so this is why I cut it and why I don't want you to see it. But you will later see it anyway, because there is a part in the video where it was not possible to get it out from the footage. So to pass the railway and the road next to it, I have built an overpass above it using some procedural objects like pillars, and these overpass support assets made by Name Invalid. And the next difficult area was this here, where the two highways meet. Here I created an interchange, what is called a trumpet interchange, or I don't know what they call it. I made this junction here using the basic zonable two-way streets first from the base game because of the snapping, because I wanted to use the snapping function from Move It and to snap the roads, the angled and the props and procedural objects precisely, and then use some network multi-tool magic to connect up the loose ends of the off-ramps to each other. And after upgrading the roads to proper highway networks, I repeated the design of the smaller exits to this interchange with the node controller design, connected the networks to each other, and later also connected this to the outside connection. And I copy-paste the road markings and decorations with IMT, which are consisting of the usual IMT lines, some chevron fillets for the highway exits and also the entraces, and the crash barriers for the side and the middle of the road, originally made by Bad Idea as decorative networks, and they are applied here using the IMT decorative network feature. But my favorite thing is the orange blinking warnings that you could see when I created the first on-ramp that warned the driver that they should merge into the other lanes because their lane ends here. And finally, I decorated the surrounding of the highway and the highway itself. I started with placing down some extra props, then a little bit of terraforming, and I just literally created a really big forest next to the highway, maybe a little bit too big and dense, using the forest brush mode and the other tree pack by Grey Flame. Then I wanted to add some proper direction signs for the highways, and since I use the new Right Everywhere mode, it allows me to create kinda dynamic signs around the town, so I don't have to mess with PO and update every road sign manually if the game randomly decides to rename a district or a street. I just wanted to download some Euro-style highway sign props that came with no text on it, but when I searched the workshop for them I didn't find too much, and the only ones that I was able to find and had no written text on it were all American sign packs. Then I found this gigapack here with German signs, German style highway signs, which had empty sign props, and kinda goes well with the former Eastern Bloc vibe, as some parts of the Germany were part of the Eastern Bloc. So let's just assume that this is the Autobahn here, and hope that the Cobra 11 won't chase after some bad guys here and cause accidents. But the next difficulty came when I downloaded the pack and tried to use it, because I found out that all assets are named in German in this pack, so it took a while to figure out which prop is which, in this pack, but after I figured it out, it went quite easily to set up some German style highway signs. All I needed to do with the mod is to select which segments I want to add the signs to, then parameterize it like what does the segment target, then add a prop model and mess with the text boxes, scales and positions to create the actual signs, which didn't turn out to be 100% accurate, so if a precise German is watching this video, please don't punish me for it. Then I also changed the default vanilla traffic sign props with some custom workshop props with BOB. I could have also added some road damage decals to the highway to make it a little bit more realistic to a real former Eastern Bloc highway, because you know the stereotype that the more Eastern or more Balkan you go, the road conditions are getting worse and worse, and sometimes it is true. But I really wanted to give back the feeling of just traveling down along the highway in the former Eastern Bloc by listening some cool rock music like Aphrodisiac Jacket by The Cult, White Line Fever by Airborne, Negasonic Teenage Warhead by Monster Magnet, or The Beast by Jumbo Fett. But I think the best experience would be if it is at night time, it is calm and the song playing is Locked and Loaded by Brent Björk, which I think it is the best song if traveling at night, so you should also check this out. So song name again is Locked and Loaded by Brent Björk. But sadly this is the end of today's episode. I hope the highway turned out to be good, and I will let you enjoy the rest of the time-lapse with some good Transport Fever soundtrack. If you want to see some previous screenshots of the city before the next episode drop, or would like to know when there is going to be an episode, follow me on Twitter at Veladam01. Thanks for watching me, hope I see you again in the next episode. I was Veladam01, see you later, goodbye.